started, we just want to make sure that we wash our hands. Remember to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds using some warm water and some soap. Make sure you get right underneath your nails and between your fingers and on the top of your hands as well. And then wash away those germs. Another thing that we want to remind ourselves to do is to also wash our produce. I like to have a vegetable scrubby near my sink that I only use to scrub away my fruits and my vegetables so that I can remove any dirt or any germs that might be left over too. So just with some warm water and a light scrub, I'm scrubbing my beets, my carrots, and my apples as well. And so I've gone and laid all of my produce that I have washed. I have my red beets. I also have my half orange that I'll be using for the dressing. I have my carrots and then also my apple and my greens. So I'm gonna go and set that aside over here. So now let's work on the dressing. I've added 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of red wine vinegar, half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm gonna give it a good stir to mix all of the ingredients in this dressing. I'm going to use this half orange to squeeze into the dressing approximately 2 tablespoons of fresh orange juice. The next thing I'll be doing is I'll be slicing my apples. I'm not peeling it because that is where we're going to find most of the fiber in its skin. And fiber is really good for lowering cholesterol. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my apple. So something that we'd like to keep in mind is that when we're working with sharp utensils like knife, we want to make sure they're sharp because a sharp knife is a safe knife, is what we like to say in our kitchen. When a knife is sharp, it allows you to only cut through an item once, making it less likely that you'll slip and cut yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this apple in half and I'm going to core it. This is the part I'll be removing, so be careful and use your table and your flat surface to cut through again. There are many different ways to cut an apple, so do it in a way that feels safest for you. Make sure to watch out for those fingers and always use a flat surface. Apples are full of antioxidants which help us prevent certain types of cancer. They are also heart healthy since they help lower our cholesterol. When cutting an apple, make sure you put your fingers back, forming a claw as to not cut yourself with the blade. Here we have the thin slices that we cut for our wrap. I'm going to put these aside and continue cutting the rest of the produce. Now the next thing I'm going to work on is my beet. I'm going to be removing the stems and the dark leafy greens. I'm actually going to keep the dark leafy greens. This is a good color category since it is packed with iron. Next, I'm just going to discard this pile. My leaves have been washed, so I'm going to stack them very neatly and then roll them. These are going to go into my slaw. So I'm going to grab my knife and cut small, thin ribbons. Now I'm moving on to my beets. I'm going to cut off the roots and then I'm going to start peeling them. If you can't find fresh beets at your local farmer's market or where you do your shopping, you can always substitute for canned goods. If you do find canned beets, try to look out for the ones that say low sodium or no salt added. If you can't find this one and you have the regular canned good, you can rinse the can a few times in order to cut some of the sodium out of it. Besides fiber, you can also find vitamins and minerals such as iron in beets. You can also find antioxidants and vitamin C, which is important for your immune system. The next thing I'm going to do is just shred my beets and then move on to my carrots. I didn't peel my carrots because I wanted to leave the skin for that fiber. Besides fiber, carrots also have potassium, which help lower your blood pressure. Another thing is that they're filled with vitamin A, which is good for your vision. The recipe calls for 2 carrots. Now we're combining the rest of the ingredients into a bowl and adding our dressing. I'm using 100% whole wheat tortilla. I'm adding my apples, my cheese, and then the rest of my slaw, and then I'm going to fold it. And for my final touches, I'm going to cut it in half and enjoy.